Greetings and salutations, everybody. It's Xlj the Og, and welcome to this very special vlog. I am here in Elkhart, Indiana, to check out a place I've heard about for years, but I've never done. We're at the Hall of Heroes, which is the first ever superhero museum and comic book museum. So, I've heard many things about this place. It's a little bit of ways for me. It's still here in the Hoosier State, but it's about 3 hours away. But just driving through, we're gonna check out Hall of Heroes and see what this is all about. So it's gonna be a fun little vlog. Let's go check them out. All right, and let's head on into the world-renowned Hall of Heroes. And right off the bat, look at that ginormous Hulk, man. Oh, that's cool. They got the 1970s Captain American outfit, but let's talk about this Hulk. So apparently this Hulk was actually on the red carpet at the Avengers premiere, but yes, look at this beautiful, beautiful piece of costume from the 1970s Captain America movies. Amazing. Speaking of Captain America, how apropos, we're starting off with the history of Marvel and Timely Comics, and here you can see all sorts of different artwork, and this is amazing, folks. That right there is the desk of the legendary Marvel and Timely Comics comic book artist Alan Bellman. I gotta say, I had the pleasure of meeting Alan Bellman a couple years ago. An amazing, amazing man. And oh wow, look, this is actually the shield from Captain America, the First Avenger. That is amazing. And you can see on the back here, it's actually got signatures from the entire cast. And you can see here in this first case, this is really the origin story of Marvel Comics, because Marvel years ago, before it became Marvel, was Timely Comics. And you can see some of the early on superheroes, such as the Human Torch, as well as the Submariner. Now this is pretty cool. Check this out. Check out that Black Rider cover there. That actually, believe it or not, that is Stan Lee, a young Stan Lee on the cover of the Black Rider comic book. I think that was Stan's first appearance he ever had on a comic book, but pretty cool nonetheless. And this is really neat too. You can see this is some of the very first Marvel licensed merchandise. And here you see some incredible artwork from the late, great Alan Bellman. I'm fortunate enough to actually have a very similar piece in my home and in my collection. And here we go, the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno. And you can see here we're kind of getting into the evolution of Marvel and pop culture. Here you can see some cartoon cells from some of the Marvel cartoons from the 90s. Of course, you can see the original Spider-Man from the 70s, as well as that Spider-Man movie poster with Tobey Maguire from 2002. This is pretty cool. This is a film cell from the Uncanny X-Men cartoon from the 80s. A lot of people don't recall this series, but it was actually animated in Japan. Look how buff Magneto is, man. And here you see Wolverine from that very short-lived 80s Uncanny X-Men cartoon. I'll never forget it too, man. He had like an Australian accent in that cartoon. It was weird. And all throughout the walls here at the Hall of Heroes, you'll notice a lot of photographs of the owner, actually with different celebrities, comic book artists. I think they've met just about everybody. Captain America throws his mighty shield. Okay, so all throughout this case is nothing but a bunch of Captain America merchandise, comic books, and so much more. And of course, the first family of Marvel, Fantastic Four, has to be heavily featured. Oh, check out that beautiful Doctor Doom bust/statue. That's incredible. And check out this CD on the Silver Surfer. I love it. Hulk smash! Alright, let's check out the Incredible Hulk's case and see what goodies they got in here. And this I find fascinating. Look at this. This is actually a costume from the never-released She-Hulk film that Canon Films was going to try to do in the 90s. Look at that outfit, man. That's pretty dope. I don't know about for She-Hulk, though. And here we've got the Ghost Rider motorcycle from the Ghost Rider film starring Nicolas Cage. Of course, we got Iron Man, and that was actually on the red carpet at the premiere of Iron Man. And we've got some more Iron Man. This is actually from the Iron Man 2 premiere. And check it out! It's the car from Iron Man 2 that got smashed by Whiplash. That's pretty dope. Oh, and here we have a costume actually worn by David Hasselhoff in the often forgotten Nick Fury film. For Odin's son! Let's check out this Thor case. There's some beautiful, beautiful pieces in here. I love that Beta Ray Bill, one of my all-time favorite characters. And oh, here we kind of got the 90s Marvel characters, of course, led by Deadpool, but you can see some X-Factor comics in here, some Alpha Flight in here as well. Kind of the less known heroes, I guess you could say, of the Marvel Universe. Although I love me some Alpha Flight. And this is an interesting case. This is the evolution of Barbie figures that were all superheroes. Everybody from Wonder Woman to Superman to Mary Jane and so much more. Oh, and check out this beautiful piece of artwork. This is a statue of the Sandman from Spider-Man 3. Yo, check this out. That Wolverine statue I have in my collection. I have that in a case in my house. How crazy is that? Oh, and I'm loving this case. It is Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, who honestly is probably one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. Oh man, those Alex Ross buses are beautiful. And of course, we gotta check out the Spider-Man case. And you can see they've got some incredible Spider-Man merch. I love it. They got the Rogues Gallery set up there. Some incredible issues of Spider-Man. And even Spider-Man foam. Whatever that is. One thing we do know, it's crazy! Crazy foam, that is. And this may be my favorite piece of Marvel merchandise. Yes, that's right. Superhero toilet paper. Doesn't get much better than that. And they've got several booths here dedicated to Spider-Man. So much Spider-Man merch. Look at the Spider-Man Mickey Mouse ears. I respect it. But they got everything from cups to action figures, Funko Pops, statues, and so much more. Oh, and check this out. You can see a Green Goblin bomb that was used in the Spider-Man movie. And speaking of Spidey himself, here is the amazing Spider-Man in all of his glory. And hey, check this out. We've got a Chris Evans Captain America statue, and that was actually used on the red carpet of Civil War when it came out. And here you see the case of the one Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. And check it out, they got that key issue, Demons in a Bottle. Phenomenal comic book. If you've never read it, check it out. And here we've got an Avengers case. And I love me some old school OG Avengers. Hey, there you see Taskmaster and his first issue, which I have that in my collection. I thought this was pretty cool. A 90s X-Men case. So this is all dedicated to the X-Men animated cartoon, which we all know and love from the 90s. God, I can hear the theme now. And here we got another X-Men case. This one kind of more so dedicated to the original lineup of X-Men. And look at that beautiful giant size X-Men issue. That is gorgeous. And this was really fascinating. The world's smallest comic books. That's right. So you get them out of this like little, dime machine. And look how tiny these things are. You had to have a freaking microscope to read them. Pretty cool. And this is cool. The owner here of Hall of Heroes, this is actually his original comic book line that he produced. And you can see here in all these cases, these are actually the entire collection of comic books here at Hall of Heroes. And check out all of these awesome statues and busts. These are amazing. And I love this. Just a case of different merch throughout the years of Marvel and DC. Everything from sticker packs to vinyl records and a record player. Amazing. And of course, we've got a whole case of nothing but lunch boxes. Something just special about a lunchbox from back in the day. The tin, and of course you gotta have the thermos. Ah, yes, look at this massive collection of Mego toys. Megos in the 70s, man, these were super dope. For me, when I was growing up as a kid, this was kind of like the hand-me-down toys, but I love these things nonetheless. And also here you can kind of see the evolution of toys, as here are some Marvel Secret Wars toys. That was released by Mattel, and down here, we even got some of the 90s Toy Biz Marvel toys. And check this out. They got Captain Action, the first action figure ever. And there's a pretty cool Phantom figure up there as well. Digging the Wolverine and Captain America. Got some more cool toys here. Spider-Woman. Looks like we got some prototypes in here as well. And there it is, Captain Action, the first action figure ever. Pretty awesome. Hollywood Heroes! That's right. Look at this case of incredible characters based off of comic book movies. And right there in the center, Stan Lee. How appropriate. And this tickled me pink. A Tales from the Crypt display. And they've got the Crypt Keeper up there. They've got some of the original EC comic Tales from the Crypt. But what is really fascinating, check it out. They've got a copy of the book, Seduction of the Innocent. And because of this book, it's what led to the Comics Code of Authority being developed for comic books back in the day. I'm Batfleck. That's right, the Ben Affleck Batman statue from the Justice League. That was on the red carpet for Justice League. And here we're getting into some DC stuff. Check out the old school Superman toys. It's like the original very first Superman toy. The very first superhero toy ever produced. It was like a puppet. Yo, and check out this wooded Superman toy. It's gotta be from the late 30s or early 40s and probably one of the very first Superman toys ever made. And man, here we got some really old school toys. They have the Superman muscle building set. I think that's like a soap dispenser or something. And check out the Superman ray gun because, well, that was a thing back in the 50s and 60s. Here you have a beautiful Superman statue. And we got a bunch of other Man of Steel stuff. Oh, we got Superman Crazy Foam. Woohoo! And who couldn't forget the classic Superman Underoos. Oh, and I'm loving this Justice League playset. And also got some key issues from DC Comics down there as well. Everything from Superman Red Sun to Crisis on Infinite Earths. And yes, we even have a Superman potato head. And now we're getting into some original Batman toys. Oh, I love that utility belt. But those Batman puppets from way back in the day are so cool. Oh, I love they got all the black and white statues. It's incredible. Wow, look at those old masks. That is amazing. And of course, down here we have a little bit of a history of the Batmobile, at least in the early incarnations. And yes, we've got like the Batcopter, like different sprays. And yes, they do got shark repellent, because some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. And here we got some really old school Batman merch. Of course, a lot of this is going to be tied in, of course, with Adam West Batman series from the 60s. And there you can see the mask, which was signed by Adam West himself. And look at that beautiful Adam West bust. R.I.P. to one of the great Batmans of all time. Man, I guess crazy foam was a thing. We have some Joker crazy foam here. And check out this Batman squirt gun. Look where the trigger is. Inappropriate. And this Batman Halloween bucket / mask thing. Oh, and I love me some Burgess Meredith at the Penguin. You got a little statue there. And here we have some Batman the Animated Series figures and collectible comics and so much more. Man, what more can you say about the amazing 90s Batman the Animated Series? And over here, this is a pretty cool section. These are all celebrities who have visited the Hall of Heroes. And I love it. He's even got a rubber chicken from Svengoolie. Flash! Okay, wrong Flash. But here we have a case dedicated entirely to the Flash. And I think I need me some of those Flash cakes. I'm just saying. But I love that Flash helmet too, by the way. Amazing. I always love the character design of the original Flash. And hey, here we got a Henry Cavill Superman statue. Pretty amazing. Shazam! Check out the Captain Marvel case. And in brightest day and darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. I am in love with this Green Lantern display. Green Lantern's probably my favorite DC superhero character of all time. Check out this gorgeous Gal Gadot Wonder Woman statue that was actually on the red carpet at the Wonder Woman premiere. Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a Superman costume. Now, I don't think that's from the movie, but still, that is a beautiful looking display. And speaking of beautiful, let's check out the Amazon herself, Wonder Woman. What an amazing display we have here. And I thought this was interesting. They have on display here some of the giant oversized comic book magazines, which were kind of really popular in the 70s and into the 80s. And yes, check it out. A superhero costume display. And there you can see like the original cast of one Green Lantern, which is pretty cool. You got the Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman. There's a Hulk costume, a Plastic Man costume even down there. Captain America. Loving it. Holy guacamole, Batman. Check this out. They've got the original Batgirl motorcycle from the 1960s Adam West series on display, as well as the Batgirl costume. We've got the William Shakespeare bust, which I loved, and of course a Adam West costume. Amazing. Oh, and this is cool. Here is like a model of the Batcave, and of course up on the wall all sorts of different Batman artwork, pictures, and so much more. Oh, and how neat is this? Original Batmobile, like a little smaller car, and it's got some penguins in it too, which I'm pretty sure were modeled after Batman Returns. We've got some film cells here too, some cartoon cells. amazing. And oh my gosh, look at this Jim Carrey Riddler costume from Batman Forever. And oh, this is pretty cool. A Saturday morning cartoon section. And they have all sorts of different film cells, animation cells from different cartoons involving superheroes all throughout the years. God, I ate the crap out of that cereal as a kid. Batman 89 for life. And speaking of Batman 89, check out the toys on display as well as the VHS tapes from Batman throughout the 80s and 90s. And we've got some characters modeled after the DC comic book movies from the 2000s era. And yes, they even have a telephone booth here on display. And look what's inside, folks. It's actually Dean Cain's Superman costume from the Lois and Clark series from the 90s. This thing is beautiful. And yes, we've got the Mego DC line of toys. And oh my gosh, they have the Hall of Justice playset. Man, I wanted this as a kid so bad. I had like a cousin or something that had one. I was super jelly. Ugh, what a rush. Oh, wrong Legion of Doom. It's the Legion of Doom from DC Comics. They have that playset as well. And believe it or not, George isn't at home. Just leave a message at the beep. Check it out. It's the greatest American hero. They got the original costume as well as some of the merch of one of the best 70s television shows of all time, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Oh, wow, they even have a Space Ghost display here at the Hall of Heroes. Amazing! I know I keep saying that, but this place truly is amazing. And I'm loving these Hanna-Barbera characters. Ooh, I love me some cups, some collector's cups from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And wow, they even got a section of Hot Wheels superhero vehicles. And here we have some classical comic book characters from way back in the day. Everybody from the Phantom to Zorro to Tarzan, the Lone Ranger. Mad respect to these amazing characters throughout the history of comic books. And speaking of the history of comic books, you know they're going to have an Archie display. And no, I'm not talking about the Riverdale show on CW. And here I come to save the day. They got Mighty Mouse. They got Underdog, which is one of my personal favorites. And we've got some Looney Tunes comics. And I love that Godzilla toy. And here we're getting into some Japanese comics, manga, whatever you want to call it, along with some other pretty cool comic book related material. There's some Battle of the Planets toys. I'm loving it. Oh, wow, they got the $6 Million Man along with Sasquatch. And for you wrestling fans, yes, that was Andre the Giant. We got some Mad magazines down here dedicated to comic books. Love it. And here we got, of course, some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and some Star Wars toys / comic books. We got some Thundercats. Man, something about comics and like 80s cartoons just went hand in hand. And they're more than meets the eye, folks. Here we've got a bunch of Transformers toys, as well as comics on display, which these were heavily tied into comic books back in the 80s, believe it or not. I think a lot of people forget that. I'll never forget the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover series, man. That was epic. And I love, too, that they got a lot of the Japanese Transformer toys here on display as well. And oh, here we've got some unique titles. We got some Simpsons. Of course, they have the comic book guy on display. Why wouldn't they? We got some Vampirella books as well. We got The Crow. And yes, they even have some Image comics, which I love me some Image comics. Everything from Spawn to my personal favorite, The Savage Dragon. Oh, and I can respect this. They even have like a Big Bang Theory, and like there's some other TV shows. There's some Heroes toys up there as well. Like, they have literally everything and anything related to comic books is on display here at the Hall of Heroes. check it out. They have a Patrick Warburton worn Tick costume from the very short-lived Fox live action show of the Tick. Man, I love that show. I wish that would have been on longer too. And this is really awesome. A Lone Ranger costume from the TV show from the 50s and 60s. And I even got a Sheldon worn Green Lantern shirt from the Big Bang Theory. And now we're getting into the video game section here. Yes, they have an arcade here at the Hall of Heroes as well. Some of the video games on display, but look at this. They've got these beautiful Batman machines. Oh, baby. Batman 89 machine. This is in my wheelhouse. And I love me some pinball machines, and they got them on display here at the Hall of Heroes. Oh, that's a unique Captain America and the Avengers arcade cabinet. Got the Superman stand there. Of course, they got the coin machine there. And what? A Jay and Silent Bob arcade cabinet? I never knew such a thing existed. And of course, you know they're going to have the X-Men cabinet. Well, there you have it. That was the Hall of Heroes. Awesome setup. Great people. Absolutely love that this is in my home state. Really cool place. I loved how organized it was. It was crazy seeing stuff that I still own and stuff I had as a child in a museum, but I am getting of that age. Anyways, if you're into superheroes, you don't even have to be into superheroes. If you like just roadside attractions and you're in the Elkhart, Indiana area, you got to check out the Hall of Heroes here. And hey, check out their webpage because you can make some donations to their cause. They're always getting all sorts of amazing collectibles in here. I know they've had to move this place before because it's just got so big, and they're just going to get bigger and bigger as they continue to grow. And also, in March of next year, check out their Comic-Con. I was talking to them about that. They've already got Michael Rosenbaum lined up, as well as the actor who played Biff. I'm sorry, I forget your name. But you'll always be Biff to us from Back to the Future, and so much more. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this vlog. I got to get back on the road. But like I say, if you're ever in the Elkhart, South Bend area, you got to check out Hall of Heroes. And as always, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, I'm Xlj the OG, and we'll see you around.